For 3 decades, Sir Martin Sorrell has run the global advertising giant WPP.
Makes me sound like a very old man.
Yeah, I was going to say, you built it out of a small wire products company.
Yes, wire baskets and pots and pans.
And they still make that stuff.
We still do, yes. We have a very small manufacturing. Remember our manufacturing roots.
Yes.
Bring back manufacturing.
Very appropriate these days. We talked to you, though, about global politics a couple of days ago. Today, I want to focus on healthcare and the conference we're at, Leaders in Global Healthcare and Technology. What brings an advertising agency into this?
Well, we're not an advertising agency in that sense. We're advertising and marketing, and we do it beyond traditional advertising, if I put it that way. Obviously, we have heavy penetration of digital media planning and buying. We buy on behalf of clients or with clients about $75 billion of media around the world. So we're very much into all sectors, including traditional pharma, which is about 600 million of our revenues out of 20 billion. And then if one looks at the packaged goods sector, for which health and wellness is becoming an increasingly important element. I mean, a lot of our clients are basing their strategies, particularly as they look at sustainability or CSR, corporate social responsibility. They're thinking very much about how health and wellness fits in to how they deal with consumers, how they deal internally with their people, because motivating and incentivizing people, not just in quantitative ways, but qualitative ways are very important. So health and wellness, and we brought in together in WPP Health and Wellness 4 of our healthcare businesses, gives us a $600 million revenue base, which we're developing in the pharma industry. And in addition to that, there's probably about another $1 billion of directly attributable health and wellness revenues through packaged goods and indeed other areas.
Last night's opening session, you and others were sort of critical of the way tech and tech advertising has been working out.
Well, there was a discussion with Rupert and with Neil Ferguson about the duopoly, Facebook and Google. And yesterday's news on Snapchat, which was Snapchat disappointed.
And you were going to spend a lot of money on Snapchat.
Well, we did last year. We invested with our clients about 98 million to be precise, out of about 404 million of revenues of Snapchat in the first quarter of this year. And I checked again this morning as to what we thought we would be spending on Snapchat this year, and it would probably be about 200 million. So we will double up on Snapchat. If you look at the numbers yesterday, they'll probably do around double what they did last year, maybe a little bit more. We'll see. There was some suggestion of seasonality in their first quarter figures. But the point of last night's conversation was that the dominance of Facebook and Google, and you saw the Facebook results and indeed the Google results, the Facebook results were very strong. We were up with Facebook in the first quarter of this year by 30%. Google a little bit less so because they're more effective, actually, reporting in dollars, they're more affected by dollar strength. But having said that, Facebook and Google continue their dominance. We also discussed last night the rise of Amazon, because Amazon certainly is a threat to Google on search. One statistic from our retail operation is that 55% of product searches here in the United States are initiated through Amazon search. So Amazon is increasingly a competitor, or will be increasingly a competitor to Google on search. And of course its advertising platform, which some analysts put at about $2.5 billion. I think Morgan Stanley is forecast $5 billion within a couple of years. So clearly from an advertising and search point of view, and Alexia and the insertion of a camera into Alexia obviously raises tremendous privacy concerns, but also that's a very powerful medium to engage with the consumer. So whether we're talking about our manufacturing clients, our retailing clients, or indeed Google and Facebook, Amazon is obviously a big threat.
Privacy a big issue in your industry, and a growing one. People starting to be concerned and resent the idea that you're harvesting, even without names, but harvesting all this data.
Well, my view on this has always been, one would have liked to have done it on an opt-out basis. In other words, that you as a consumer would opt out if you felt there was concern about privacy. But because of its primacy and because of its importance, opt-in is the key. In other words, if you or I, we don't have these ridiculous long agreements that we have to accept or reject when you log into a website, but keeping it simple and making sure the consumer understands the implications for him or her of going online with any particular application or whatever, as long as they understand, just like with our clients, they understand on an opt-in basis. I think that's key. So I think you can overcome the privacy issues, but having said that, your point, I think, is quite right. It's an increasingly greater concern, and one that the regulators, I mean, if you think about what could check Google, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, and historically it's been the case with Microsoft, it's the attitude of the regulators. We're still waiting in Europe for 3 decisions in relation to Google from the EU regulator, from Vestager. So we have to see what happens.